Peace, viewers. Once again, this is A Vision Entertainment. You are here with Tommy Slaughter. I'm here with a big shot comedian right here. This comedian, Topp Fliight. This man, he has performed at Helium Nightclub, the Laugh House, Planet Hollywood, Las Vegas, the Liacourus Center, everywhere, man. This man wear a lot of hats. We got Topp Fliight. What's up, man? What's going on?
What's going on, brother? How you, man?
I'm good, man. I've been trying to get you now. You're here on A Vision Entertainment. Just want to thank you for coming on to the show, brother.
No problem.
Yeah, and that's what's it at, man. First, I want to get into how did you get into stand-up comedy?
I got into comedy from another comedian. His name's Nate the Landlord. We actually worked at the same job, and I used to always go to his shows and support him. And he would always tell me, like, we would just be having regular general conversations. Yeah. And he was like, yo, man, you hilarious. Like, I think you should get into comedy. Like, you should really give it a shot. Mm-hmm. And it took me a year to finally be like, all right, I'm going to do it. Because I'm a very reserved and shy dude, man. Like, I don't like attention and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm damn sure not getting on stage in front of people, you know. So long story short, he motivated me, he encouraged me, he got me into it. Shout out to Nate the Landlord. He got me into comedy. Did my first show back in 2008. Okay. So I've been around for a long time, very long time.
A minute, yeah.
Yep.
That was my next question too. Like, how long have you been performing stand-up comedy? You said a long time, right?
Yeah, long time. Since 2008 all the way up till the present. So yeah, I've been in this game. I've been around the block. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and comedy is definitely one big pot of stew because it's gonna give you all that.
It's going to give you all the ins and outs, and you gotta have tough skin to be involved in this game, right?
Definitely, especially now that everybody getting exposed, everybody talking about comedians and taking shots at us. So you know, if only the strong gonna survive, as they say.
That's right. And you began your professional career as a comic in 2012, but you said 13, right? 2013. Right. Performing in the Tri-State before winning the Philadelphia Comic of the Year award. Can you take me back to that?
Yeah, in 2013, I had wanted to travel more and do things outside of Philly. And I've noticed that a lot of comedians at that time, they were just doing the Philly circuit and the New York and the Baltimore and I'm like, man, it's such a big world out here. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more to offer than just the Tri-State, you know. So I was not saying I was the first, but in that particular time, in that era with the group that I was running with, I was the first comedian to just step outside the box and just start trying to do other things in other places. And I really started gaining some buzz. I started gaining some traction. I started getting on more stages, more flyers, and many more opportunities start being presented. And then that particular year, my colleagues and also people that were attending shows was like, yo, Flight is killing the game right now. He's really doing his thing. So they had, honored me with 2013 Philly Comedian of the Year. So it was definitely an appreciative award. I was totally caught blindside. I didn't even know I was nominated.
You didn't know it was coming?
I didn't even know it was coming. So when I got the phone call, everybody was texting me like, congratulations. And I'm like, what I do? Like, what y'all know I know? You know, so when I finally got the award, it was real appreciative to have people in the city, you know, acknowledge and see the things that you're doing and that you're trying to strive to push to get forward. So it was definitely big.
I know you said Nate the Landlord kind of like got you into this.
Yes.
But, you know, when you were a child, we kind of bust on each other as young boys. You know what I mean? You know how we go and we start ragging on each other. Have you always wanted to be a comedian, or just when Nate the Landlord kind of pushed it on you a little?
So I wouldn't necessarily say I always wanted to be a comedian, but I always was that guy who I would do certain things, but I was a clown only around people I was comfortable with, like my friends and family. Like anybody outside that, I never really was the type of guy to be going around and just, snapping, or as we call it, busting on people. I never really was that guy. But if I felt comfortable with you and around you, then I'm a light you on fire. You gonna catch it. You know what I'm saying? So I mainly only did it around my friends and family. For me.
Because you was more comfortable around your friends and family, right?
Right, exactly. Still to this day, man, like people, my team, like even people that know me and even people that don't, they see me, they know me, and they be like, I be nervous. Like I've been doing this for years and I still get nervous. Like I walk around, be sweating. My team know how to calm me down now, but I still I be pacing and walking around. So, those butterflies and those jitters are still there. It's a good thing.
You coming back to Glenside, the Keswick Theater, July 28th.
Yes.
Coming back with Raymond Anthony Laugh Out Loud Entertainment, right?
Yes.
Is that your first time will that be your first time at the Keswick Theater?
No, I was at the Keswick maybe twice before. I've been there. This will probably be my third time. I've worked with Raymond Anthony a few times, and I've done 2 shows with him, and then I've also done another show with another promoter inside of Philly as well that actually did a show at the Keswick.
Okay, wow, yeah. Like I said, you always you all over the place, man, and it's just gonna get better and better. Because also Houston, New Orleans, like you was all over the place, man.
Yeah. So this year I've come to realize, man, in life sometimes you can't sit around and wait for nothing or nobody. If you don't get up off your behind and go push to whatever it is that you want to do, then it'll all come to light. You just have to put the work in.
Just doing your own thing, man. Mind My Business. No, what is it? Mind My Business tour you put together?
Yeah, minding my business.
Minding My Business. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Minding My Business comedy tour. It's just again, it's just a lifestyle. And again, when you have the mentality of focusing on yourself and staying true to whatever it is that you want to do for you, then you ain't worried about what nobody else doing. A lot of times people get caught up in what somebody else is doing, and now you're minding their business. You don't know what they went through or dealt with to get to where they at. So if you have the mentality of, sticking with just you and your inner peace and your inner self and minding your business, which we all need to do sometimes because we get so wrapped up in what everybody else thinks, says, and believes that, it takes away from what you need to do for yourself.
And you're absolutely right. It is. And it is good to start doing your own thing, minding your own business, because you get further by doing that. Because now you get a clear mind of you focus more on yourself.
On yourself, yes.
That's right, man. That's right. And just describe your experiences with open mics and how important that is, to go through that. Because everybody have to go through open mic nights. Can you describe one of your experiences with open mic nights?
For me, I don't do open mics. My open mics normally is me hosting. It gives me the freelance to be able to work out material and things of that nature. Again, I've been in a position where I'm blessed enough to host monthly shows here in the city, outside the city, and it gives me the opportunity to work on new material, work on new stuff, things of that magnitude. Now, when I used to go to open mics, they were pretty good. Again, when it's a mixture, it's for me, I never really liked them when you mix comedy and poetry and juggling, and it kind of just takes away from, the craft in itself. But when I was in Buffalo, I did go to a couple because I was out there for a week, and they had literally have shows every day. So open mics are always good. It just all depends on, the opportunities. It's not as many because most people now are only booking shows. They're not really putting together open mics.
It's all shows now.
Right. Yep.
How do you come up with material?
For me, it's just talking about my life, everyday life, things I'm going through, things I've been through, I'm dealing with. Um,
Yeah.
Again, I've been dating and relationships and being divorced and my kids and just different stuff that I see on the daily or something that somebody may have told me.
Mhm.
I got a couple friends that's going through some different things, and it's hilarious, and I just take their stories and just make it into mines, and
Mhm.
that's how you come up with different stuff, and just visualizing things you see every day, things you hear, things you be around.
What happened if you were at a show with a group of people, right? And your set was fire. You get off the stage, someone else go on, and they actually said almost everything you said, like kind of stealing your jokes. How do you approach that person? What do you do in that situation?
I mean, for me, it happens. It's unfortunately, but again, for me, I'll have a conversation with them, and then that's it. I'm not. Hey, what I'm gonna do? Fight them or beat them up or
Yeah,
shoot them or, what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's we're at a day and age where, apparently that person may have needed, and I'm crafty enough to be able to, you know what? You got it. I ain't gonna argue. I ain't gonna fight.
you got
And
it.
then it's so bad now. I've had people where I've done a joke and then they tell me I stole it from them. So and I just
Yeah,
be like, but I'm not big on controversy. I've
that's right.
learned
That's right.
is sometimes the quiet response be the best
Be the
response at
best.
all.
The best. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then again, when you have to respond, you have to, because you don't want to be viewed as a pushover. But like Tupac say, I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
Don't push me. Don't push me. That's right. That's right, man. Is there a line that you will not cross in comedy?
Um, I mean, there's not a line that I wouldn't cross. There's just some things that I just don't want to talk about.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? For me, politics is not real heavy, something I do. I've been touring with a lot of Caucasians, that's what I call them, clear comics. They talk about dark stuff. I had this one comedian, I ain't gonna say his name, but the joke bothers me every time he say it. He's talk
Yeah.
about sleeping with his mom. Like,
Wow.
what?
Wow. 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 Wow.
But
That's way
again,
less. That's to the left.
exactly.
Wow.
But people laugh at it. Like that. I mean,
I guess
Caucasian.
it's something for some people. Some, I
It's
don't know.
exactly. So it's like
Yeah.
it's no right or wrong. It's just it don't matter how you get to the finish line. Just get to the finish line. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Some people might take the shortcut. Some people might go the long way. Some people might walk. Some people might run. It just all depends. But the end result is the finish line is getting that laughter. And however you get it, that if that works for you, great. Then, but me personally, nah. There's certain lines that I'm just not going to cross, and then there's certain things that I'm just not going to talk about.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. And you also opened up for some big people, man. I'm talking about Michael Colyar, Tommy Davidson. Also, you work with Kindred the Family Soul.
Yes, I was touring with them slightly. I
Yeah.
had did a couple shows with them. Actually, Moses the comic is actually the brother of Fahid. And me and him, we just got a couple opportunities to open up for those guys. That was years ago, and it was really really dope being able to open up for Kindred the family. They're a talented family,
Yeah.
beautiful family.
Yeah.
um, it's just it was just really dope with those guys. They were really cool.
Wow. So how long was it a tour or just that one night show or something like that?
It was it was it was mainly it was a tour. It was like three, maybe they gave me about 4 dates.
Okay.
So there were 4 different cities that I got an opportunity to open up for.
Wonderful, right? Wow. What was your biggest highlight in your career thus far?
My biggest highlight of my career was when I did a show in Texas and it was 10,000 people there. That was the biggest audience that I've ever performed in front of. Yep.
Were you nervous?
And
I know you was
oh
nervous.
man, I was beyond nervous, and it was so. What made it
Yeah.
so emotional? It
Yeah.
was high, it was low. like it had everything. I had just recently lost my grandma.
Okay, yeah.
And she kept telling me before she passed, like, you're gonna be in front of big names, your name's gonna be in lights, a
Wow.
lot's gonna have, like, I see this for you. And at the time, I was like, you get ready to pass away. I don't want to hear that. Like, I
Yeah.
want you to, so when she said it, after but when I first got there, I cried. When I got off the stage, I just broke down. Like, it was just crazy. And then right after that, I had got a call from Showtime at the Apollo.
Wow.
And then my name was on the marquee at Showtime at the Apollo. So everything she
She
was
said
speaking on,
everything she said. It happened.
it happened. And it just was like, wow. So those for me are always going to be the times where it stand out, where I was like, yo, like, still to this day, I haven't performed in a front of a bigger audience than that particular night, where it was literally 10,000 people. Like, that's how big that theater was. It held 10,000 in every
So
seat. I mean, no cap, no BS. Like,
everything still
it's
sold out show.
sold all the way out. Like, I mean, people were standing up. That's how crazy it was.
Yeah. So that feeling, just by you finishing your set, going backstage or back to your dressing room, did you break down and be like, I can't believe this?
Yeah, I definitely did, man. That particular show, because it was so emotion. It was
Yeah,
emotion with good emotions, bad
yeah,
emotions,
like you said,
just
yeah,
all bottled up. Just imagine taking everything that you've ever been through, the good, like I said, comedy is good, bad, and ugly, and just putting it in a little bottle, and you just shake it up, and then eventually it's going to explode. And when I got back to the States, because I had a killer set, like, I was on fire. Everything I said, they were laughing.
yeah,
And in theaters, those laughs, they come in spurts. Like, it's not like an intimate setting like a comedy club.
yeah.
It's like the person way in the back laugh. It comes, and then it comes, and then finally when it reach you, it just all hit you. And it was just, the energy that night was crazy.
Energy was crazy. Wow, man. Wow. And also, you have something else important, man, that I wanted to talk about. Um, can we talk about one of your bigger passions outside of comedy, which is the fight for autism awareness?
Yes.
Yeah. Can we talk? Can we dwell on that?
Sure, no problem. So I have three children. One of my sons he's autistic. Um, Autism awareness is very near and dear to my heart. It's a foundation that I've always sponsored. I've always partaked in. I've always support. I've always talked about. I'm in about four different groups that I constantly speak in, and let kids know, and just give them the understanding that just because you're a little different, don't make you different, but it makes you special. And I make sure that they understand that, and I make sure my son knows that. I've given him many ample opportunities to do whatever it is that he wants to do.
Hmm.
He just recently started his own clothing line. It's called to Stay Busy, to Stay Out of Trouble. I actually got a shirt on
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
Um, he does t-shirts, we do clothes. He's doing it all. So like I said, it's always near and dear to my heart. We have different foundations. I make a donation. I sell these t-shirts, and I make a donation at the end of the year. Every year, there's not in the last 15 years, I've always went to St. Christopher Hospital, because that's where he was diagnosed.
You
And
did.
I make sure I send my donation every year.
Okay. Wow. My cousin has the same thing. He's about 35 now. The amazing thing about my cousin, right? I call him Vinny Blanco. The amazing thing about Vinny is that he knows every basketball player, every baseball player. I mean, he's a sports fanatic. He has autism, but I'm telling you take him to the game, he's screaming out names. He know these guys.
Right,
So it's always a side where God will give them like a special side, time.
right.
So, my cousin, yeah, like I say, 35, and I understand the autism because I used to watch him when he was little, you know?
Yep. Their intellect, their intuition, their mind, the way they process, the way they dissect, the way they put together, the way they piece together, the way they take apart. You just be and amazed, and you just be like, wow, like I've met so many different I've literally sat and watched there was another child in Florida I went to go visit, and he literally put a radio together in like 2 hours.
Wow, you see
Like
the two
literally, I mean, screw by screw, wire by wire, he put it all together,
together.
and then the radio worked like it was made in a warehouse or something. And I just was like, wow.
That's another side of talent, skills that they
Yep.
have. Wow. And you and it's still going well. You have the foundation, right? Going on with that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Autism Speaks.
Is this you alone or your family is involved with you?
Nah, so I again, everything that I do is always through St. Chris. I always go through them, and I just branched up with another young lady. Her name is Miss Hart. It's called the Hart Foundation. Just help out her. We do different things. We always once a year we used to do a basketball game,
Yeah.
but we got fat and old, so all the players don't want to play no
Yeah, right.
but now we're starting to do bowling. We do a comedy show and things like that. So,
All right. Okay. And after years of working in comedy, who are some of your favorite comics to work with and why?
um, favorite comics to work with. Actually, the guys that I've loved to work with, they're trying to build names and become brands.
Yeah.
Nate the Landlord, Miss
Yeah.
Darkchild, Spunky Robinson, like the cats that I work with. You'll probably you be like, who? Oh, who they from? Who that? A lot of the big names I haven't really got many opportunities to work with, but I'm looking forward to working with Gary Owens
Okay.
at that show at the
Yeah,
Keswick. So
that's the 28th.
yeah, that
Yeah.
that show's going to be bananas. He's hilarious. He's definitely a great comic. I just
Yeah.
want to see what his energy and his spirit is like,
Okay.
off stage. So people are one way this way, and then that way another outside of what they do. So and
Okay.
sometimes they match up, and sometimes they don't. So
Yeah, they be hot and cold, you know.
right.
Yep. Is it hard to do all the traveling and still maintain a solid family life? Because I know you travel when you in your time you was traveling. Is it hard to still maintain that family life?
It is hard, but it's easy. And what I mean by that, my children are older now.
Okay.
So with them being older, they're able to function and do the things that they need to do for themselves. Plus,
Okay.
I love my kids. They bless me with the understanding of dad, go to work, we good, we got you, don't worry about it, and
You
that
feel
took the
comfortable.
pressure.
Yeah.
Huh?
It make you feel comfortable. Like they,
Yeah, it definitely did. Cause I didn't want my kids to be like, well, you never was around, you never did, you never was.
yeah,
So my son, he just recently told me, he was like, yo, I'm proud of you, man. I was riding somewhere, and he was like, yo, look at that poster. That's my dad right there. Like it's stuff like that that make you remember why you do what you do and why you're doing it. So
that's
but it
right.
does affect a lot of other things. Like I said, I'm single. I was recently divorced. I've been divorced now almost 2, maybe 3 years. Um, again, the moving around a lot.
Yeah.
Um, It's gradually coming, you know. Uh, Peace is therapy. It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
It saved my life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can go on for days outside of money. Money's never been the top priority. You know, my peace comes when I'm on stage. So I want to be on stage as much as possible so I can have that peace. I can have that therapy. Whatever I'm dealing with or going through, it it numbs me when I get on stage. So that's why I try to stay as booked up as much as possible. I always said, if I ever got in a position like a Kevin Hart or a Dave Chappelle, I would probably be the first comedian to try, and I googled it. It's never been done, to try to be the first comedian to do 365 days of show in 1 year, like literally on stage every day. Like, I think that would be so dope if I ever got in a
Like the Guinness
position.
Book of Records, man.
Exactly,
Do
like
that every
literally
day.
a show every day. Like, I want to do that so bad.
But isn't that something like having a what is it called? A residency?